greetings to one and all. Today I'm here to present a topic on FADs, that is fish aggregating devices. So fish aggregating devices are gaining importance in recent years because of its impact on the sustainability of aquatic ecosystem. So let's see what are FADs. So FADs, as the name indicates, fish aggregating devices are the objects which are placed in the water bodies to attract the fishes. So when we are placing an object in the water body, the fishes will get attracted and gathered around this object, and this will act as a method of fishing in some places. And the main principle is that fish aggregating devices aggregate different fishes, whether it is of different size or species, they will get aggregated at different depths. And fish aggregating devices were either permanent structures or maybe floating type. And permanent structures or permanent FADs will be fixed at the bottom of the water bodies, and drifting structures will be floating on the surface or subsurface of the water. And the permanent and drifting FADs will be made of any materials which attracts the fishes. So moving to the next slide, let's see how fish aggregating devices works. We all know that fishes are fascinated with a floating object. Whatever objects we are placing in the water, fishes will get attracted towards it. Okay, and these objects will create a visual stimulus in the optical void. If we are placing an FAD made up of natural objects like bamboo poles, branches of trees or leaves, what happens is that after few days it will start decaying, and upon decaying it will stimulate the growth of algae. And what happens after growth of algae? All these algal population will attract the juvenile fishes. Juvenile fishes will be coming for consuming this algal material, and this in turn will create an hideout place for the juvenile fishes from the predatory fishes. Okay, so this FADs will also act as an hideout place for the juvenile fishes. And what happens is that for consuming or for preying this juvenile fishes, the other predatory fishes will be coming around this fish aggregating devices, and it forms a group or a shoal of fishes around this fish aggregating devices. Okay, and I have already mentioned that there are permanent FADs and floating FADs. So this permanent FADs, they are set mainly in the deep sea or deep waters, and its reallocation is very difficult. And in case of mobile FADs can be moved to attract the fish to a particular point. So moving to the next slide, site selection for FAD. So at what location we have to fix an FAD? So what are the factors to be considered while fixing an FAD? All these points should be considered while fixing an FAD. So first point is that FADs should be located at a distance from shore that is not too far for a small boats to reach safely. It means that FADs should be fixed not in a long distance. And second point is that it should be fixed away from the coast. It should not be fixed nearby the coast of the sea or an ocean. And also, it should not be fixed in the coral reef places. Why? Because coral reefs itself is a natural aggregation, isn't it? Coral reefs, these are the natural habitat of fishes and other aquatic animals. So we should not interfere, we should not disturb these aggregations, natural aggregations. So it should not be placed, FADs should not be placed near the coast and also at the coral reefs. And the third point is that it should be near a center of fishing activity. It means that I have already told that FADs, they are a kind of fishing method. these FADs are used by another personas to catch the fish. So it should be set near center of a fishing activity. And the last point is that water depth. Water depth means the artisanal FADs should be fixed at a water depth between 100 and 1500 meter. So these are the points to be considered while fixing an FAD. Next, coming to the types of FADs. There are two types of FADs. First is artisanal and second one is industrial FADs. So artisanal FADs that will be placed either near shore or the offshore regions, and as I told you in the before slide, it is kept or it's fixed at a depth between 100 and 1500 meter. Okay, and this artisanal FADs will be constructed using the natural object as I already told before. And coming to the industrial FADs are fixed in the open sea. Actually, industrial FADs are helping this personer to identify or locate the shoals of fishes. Okay, so these are the differences between industrial and artisanal FADs. So next slide describes how the FADs are helping the personers in identifying the fishing shoals. So before, traditional fishermen, they used to identify the fishing grounds or the shoals of fish using some indigenous methods like change in color of the water body, then aggregations of birds and also the dolphins in the water body. So with all these signals, they used to identify the shoals or the fishing ground. But this personer, they use this FAD for identifying the shoals. Okay, so what they do is the personer, they will be fixing this FADs in the deep waters or deep sea. And what they do is they will connect an electronic beacon and a sonar equipment to this FADs. And using a satellite, this FADs will be sending signals to the personers. So after receiving the signals, they will be knowing that okay, there is a shoal of fishes. So the personer comes and catches the whole shoal of fish. So this is how the FADs helps the personers. So what is the main problem in this type of fishing, in this type of fish catching method? It is actually bycatch is very much more when we are using FAD as a fishing method. Why it is happening like that? Actually, I have already told that fish aggregating devices, they aggregates all the fishes, even the juvenile fishes, predatory fishes, brooders, everything. Okay, so it makes a shoal of fishes and the personers comes and catches the whole shoals. So bycatch is more in the FADs. So this is a major problem and many of the countries have banned this method of catching fish. So if it is a bad practice, what are the benefits of FADs? So coming to the next slide, what are the benefits of FAD? So this FAD, they can act as fish sanctuaries by creating a new habitat for fishes, and also it can reduce the fuel consumption and searching time for fishes by the personers. And the main benefit is that we can use any selective gears like hook and line methods to decrease the bycatch, and by using the FAD we can increase the catchability. So these are the main benefits of FADs. And coming to the risk of FADs, the main risk is that for fixing an industrial FAD is very expensive, and because of many factors like design flaw, environmental forces, vandalism, then damage from the fishing gears, it has a very short lifespan. And FADs may disturb the delicate ecosystems if they are fixed at wrong places. And another one is that FADs may cause user conflict. So these are the main risks of FADs. So coming to the conclusion, FAD fishing increases the bycatch. This is the main problem with FAD fishing. And management of FAD associated with fishing is becoming a concern for policy makers. So we can adopt some measures like time closure or area closure for limiting the impact of FAD fishing on fisheries. And like all the fishing methods, FAD also needs to be monitored and managed properly. So these are my conclusions on this topic. So with this, I am ending up my class. Thank you all.